Joan Quinn Profiles. As an editor for Andy Warhol's Interview, the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, LA Style, and Detour magazines, Joan covered the social set, the Hollywood hotshots, the international art scene, the mysteries of food, the excitement of travel, and the fabulous world of fashion. Joan continues to find creative people on the cutting edge who make things happen. Here's Joan Agajanian Quinn.
Hi, I'm Joan Quinn, and welcome to the Joan Quinn Profiles. Waiting to be profiled are actor Richard Horvitz and author Emily Rapp. Native California actor Richard Horvitz was raised in Los Angeles, and he's been entertaining audience for the last 30 years. He was working at the age of 10 when he made a major splash in commercials, big commercials. He was on stage in Oliver with Dick Shawn and Stubby Kaye, and by the time he got to UCLA, Richard, I think this is great, it only took you 1 quarter's worth of work to learn everything, right?
Yes, I learned everything they had to offer in 1 quarter.
Why didn't you stay at UCLA?
I was majoring in theater arts, and at the time I was still auditioning. I was still a working actor, and I landed a part on a series called Safe at Home that ran for 103 episodes. So little did I know that it was going to become a full-time series, and it did. And as a result, I ended up leaving college to go and pursue my dream. But on the one hand, I figured, if I'm going to be an actor when I finish my degree, I'm still an actor, and I don't know that there are a lot of people that go, okay, we're going to give you the part because you have a theater arts degree.
No, but we like it when you've studied it, don't we?
Yes.
Did you go back and teach?
I went back. You know, funny thing is I actually went back and taught an extended learning course at the California State University Northridge.
Oh, you did?
That was in voiceover, but that's acting.
But voiceover is another thing that you do. I'm going to get to that. So you started with Safe at Home? What was it?
Safe at Home.
Safe at Home, right.
At Home.
And then you started doing a lot of series.
Yes, I did a lot of guest stars on shows like Head of the Class. As a younger child, I was on Different Strokes. I did Head of the Class. You Can't Take It With You, Baby Boom.
All during the 80s, I guess.
Yes,
huh?
during the 80s.
Was all TV for you?
TV until around 1986, when I did a film called Summer School with Mark Harmon and Kirstie Alley for Paramount, directed by Carl Reiner.
Oh, that must have been fun.
It was a wonderful experience.
How was Carl Reiner?
I would have to say that Carl is one of the nicest men I've ever met in my life. A wonderful man to work for.
Was he in the film as well?
He was. He did a cameo in the film.
And how did he direct?
You know, it was really great. If we were improvising off the set and we're just playing and having fun, Carl would watch us and go, hey, let's shoot that. And we'd spend a whole day shooting that. And
so that really worked.
Yes, and he's a great director. He's an actor, so he is very good with actors.
Well, you were able to take direction, I guess, because you'd done so much TV. And commercials, do you have to take a lot of direction?
Yeah, oh, yes, because you have a short amount of time to get a lot of information across in 30 seconds or 60 seconds. I started out as a hand model.
I know, that's what you said. I couldn't believe it. Yes. But what would a hand model be doing? A boy.
My very first commercial was this thing called Kent and His Cosmic Cruiser, and it was during the time of Star Wars, so there were all these kind of rip-off toys of the Star Wars. Right, and so I was hired to play the hands of the kids playing with in the close-up.
They zoom in on
my hands and it says, not actual size. But they weren't talking about my hands, they were talking about the toy.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yes.
So then...
but then I didn't want to be known as just another pretty hand.
So what'd you do?
So I decided, I wanted to be appreciated for my whole body.
But you did like Chevy commercials.
Chevy Citation, Freshen Up Bubblegum. I was there was a whole series of commercials for Freshen Up where I said, there's liquid inside this gum.
And how did you look? Like the little...
Like this. There's liquid inside this gum.
But when you were talking about...
Although really, in true life, I was probably going like this. Oh, there's liquid inside this gum.
Do they still make that gum?
I certainly hope not, because I just offended the product. They're not paying me anymore, so.
I was just going to say, when you were talking about stars and you wanted to be a star known for your whole body, you actually are a comedian, which I didn't realize I mean,
Yes.
I knew you were an actor.
I don't know if the audience realized it either, but I hope they did.
but Stars, you were on Stars.
The Stars comedy promo, yes.
Yeah.
Very recently, last year, I work a lot with Fred Willard.
Those are so funny. You
Yes.
act like you're like the geeky guy who comes in, and he's like the straight guy.
Geeky. Define geeky, because
Not good?
That's kind of a contrast to my Tom Cruise, Bruce Springsteen
Oh,
look.
excuse me. Did you
So-
go in like that? Did Fred let you come in like Tom Cruise?
Yeah, Fred was actually the guy who was kind of the oblivious boss, and I was a programmer in the spots. It was kind of a takeoff on the show Working. It was kind of a working environment.
But then I saw that you were on Jimmy Kimmel
Yes.
with him, and
Yes.
that's where I thought you were the geeky guy.
The first spot I did with Fred on Jimmy Kimmel, we did a sketch in which I was Fred Willard's biggest fan.
Oh, that's
and then I come in and I'm wearing the tuxedo he wore in Best in Show, and
Oh, those kind of things.
yes,
Yeah.
and then the other one was Fred was the co-host. I was the co-host in the other sketch we did.
Oh, you were the
I was kind of
co-host.
his Ed McMahon.
And you did Saturday Night Live.
Yes, I did it. We did with the same group. My friend T-Shawn Shannon, who wrote for Saturday Night Live, wrote a series of short films called Bear City, and I played a bear.
Oh, so that wasn't funny?
It was very funny.
was very
Very funny, yes. Guy in a bear suit, come on.
So we're
Bears
getting,
are always funny.
So we're getting
Unless
from.
you're a rabbit, then bears aren't so funny.
Were you a rabbit ever?
Or a salmon.
Not
Salmon
a
don't find
salmon.
bears very funny, no.
Were you really plugging away at your TV career, or did you think you should do film?
You know, I didn't really have I don't know if this is a good or bad thing. I didn't really have any clear direction of where I was going. I just kind of went out on whatever things they were auditioning. I started out in theater, really, as a child. I did musical theater. I did Oliver at the Aquarius Theater.
But were you singing and dancing?
Yes.
Were you trained like that?
Yes, I was trained as a tap dancer.
But who sent you out? Did your mother want you to be an actor?
You know, my mom didn't really want me to be an actor, mainly because she didn't want to be going out driving me all over Hollywood
yeah.
and taking me out of school, etc. And then one day, this man by the name of Floyd Huddleston, a wonderful songwriter, he wrote the music for the Aristocats for Disney. He had written a musical that he wanted to put on at the church I was attending as a kid. And he wanted me to play this part, and he was just really a nice guy, liked me a lot, and said to my mom he has to meet my agent, and that's how it happened.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, so
I would like to say I was sitting in Schwab's drugstore in a nice tight sweater, but that really wasn't.
No, and
that
Schwab's
wasn't-
is gone.
Yes, I know.
I know. So you had to find some other
I had to
place.
find
the
other
church
someplace
hall.
to be discovered. Yes.
The church
Yeah,
hall.
I just hung out at church halls. I figured you need a nice crowd.
But your mother wasn't pushing you, and yet
No,
you made
never.
all this. You really made it as a child actor.
I knew from the time I was about 5 years old that I liked to perform. I used to watch Flip Wilson and Tom Jones from England, and loved those shows. I loved entertaining, and I used to imitate them. I started out doing a lot of imitations as a kid.
I was gonna say that because when you do your voiceovers, you
Yes.
have to use different kind of voices. Is there any show business in your family?
Yes, my brother is a director. He's a musical
yeah.
variety director. He directs the Oscars and the Emmys, and
Does he write music?
you know, he's written his own music, but nothing ever published.
But mostly directing.
Just directing, yeah. He's
And what's his name?
Louis J. Horvitz.
Oh, so we have it in the family. Did your mother push him?
No, he pushed himself.
He pushed himself,
None
too.
of us. I had an uncle and an aunt who were magicians
Oh, that's
in Michigan, but
no fair, no fair. So you
that
were
might have led to a life in the circus. I don't know, but
well. You
I
could
didn't-
do that if
I
you're a
could.
song and dance man.
I am a song and dance man.
And so you were doing this song and dance at the Whitefire Theater recently.
Oh, very recently. I was doing a play called Tiptoes, which was a revival of a Gershwin musical that hadn't been done since, I think it was 1920.
It was a 20 sometime,
1920
yeah.
sometime. And it was a very successful run.
Did you tap?
I